Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda and in today's tutorial I will be making as a cake topper ballerina slippers out of gum paste and fondant. You may print out the pattern for these slippers by following the link that I've placed in the information window of this video. First, what I'll do is I am going to cut the insoles for the slippers using this pattern. Since the insole is narrower than the sole of the shoe or the slippers, in this case, I am trimming some of the insole, maybe a quarter of an inch. I'm trimming off so it will be narrower than the sole. Now with the stitching tool, I am going all around the insole of the slipper. This will look, when placed on the sole, it's going to look as though they are stitched together. Next, I'm going to roll out some fondant and using a pattern, I'm going to cut the top of the slipper. Now I am going to cut the sole of the slipper. Using edible glue, I am going to adhere the insole on the sole of the slipper, just like this. I like to stand the slippers on the cake. To do this, I need support for the slipper. I am going to be inserting a small dowel rod through the slipper. And so I am taking a piece of gum paste, placing it on the insole of the slipper. I'm going to glue that on the insole of the slipper, just like this. This will serve as a base for the support that I'm going to be inserting later on. Now I am going to take some edible glue and just brush it all around the sole of the slipper, so that way I could paste the top of the slipper on the sole. Paste the top of the slipper on the outside of the sole, just like this. Just a reminder that to make pieces like this, you need to have a lot of patience. You do not want to rush. You want to take your time gluing everything together. And that's why we use the gum paste, because the gum paste can keep its stability. It is a stable paste. I like the slippers to have a curve, so I'm using a small rolling pin and covered with paper towels for cushion. And then I'm going to kind of bend the slipper. You need to do this while the gum paste is still nice and fresh. Don't let it dry and then try to do this afterwards. You need to do it right after you form the slipper. Now I'm taking a dowel rod and I cut it to maybe 3 or 3.5 inches long, and I sharpened it. I am going to put that through the piece of gum paste that I have placed inside the slipper before. This will serve as a support for when I place my slippers on the cake standing up. And just keep in mind that the dowel rod should not be seen from the bottom on the outside of the slipper or in the inside. You do not want any of the dowel rod to be seen. For trimming the top of the slipper, I'm going to use my extruder and with a small piece of fondant. Then I'm going to place that all around the top of the slipper. If you do not have an extruder, just take a small piece of fondant and make like a very thin snake, long thin snake, rolling the fondant with your hands, both hands, back and forth on the surface that you are working. Now I will attach the trimming on the top of the shoe using some edible glue. Once I'm done trimming, I am going to let the slippers dry, maybe 1 to 2 days. Remember, like I said before, we need a lot of patience to work with pieces like this. But if you have time and the patience, you will make beautiful work. Now I'm covering my cake with fondant. I have already baked, filled, and crumb coated my cake and gave it a coat of buttercream, and now I am ready to cover it with fondant. And to give it a quilting effect to my cake, I'm going to use this plastic mold or plastic pattern, pressing it against the cake and going around with my fingers and my hands so that way the pattern can be imprinted on the fondant. And with my stitching tool, I'm going to go over each mark. Wherever there is a diamond or a pattern, I am going to go over it. First, I'm going to go in one direction, and then I'm going to go the opposite direction to form the diamonds of the quilting pattern. Using a small ball tool, I am going to make an indent wherever the diamonds crossed. When making these indents with the ball tool, do not push in the ball tool too far in, or else you are going to make holes in the fondant. Brushing first some edible glue on each of the indents, I'm going to place a pink pearl wherever the diamonds crossed. This is to make the quilting effect. And for my border, I'm putting some small tiny balls or pearls. As you can see, I did this using a fondant mold. And to finish off the slippers, as you can see, I use my extruder to make these tiny bows on top of the front of the slippers. Now I'm removing the plastic that I had used before to shape the slippers. Very carefully, I'm going to take the slippers right now and I'm just going to place them on the cake. And here is the finished product. As you can see, I also put some lace or ribbons inside the slippers so the ballerina can tie the slippers to the shoe. I also made some tiny flowers just to decorate the cake a little bit more. And that's it. This is all it took to make this beautiful ballerina cake. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me during this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you back here the next time with another tutorial. Until then, God bless you.